Are you one of culturally diverse and linguistically diverse educators working in Australia or another English-speaking country? This video is for you. I'm going to talk about the challenges that we face as CALD or culturally and linguistically diverse educators and teachers and how to overcome them. Tune in. One of the main barriers for culturally and linguistically diverse educators or pre-service teachers and students is language barrier. So the language barrier may become a problem if an educator is confused about what they hear in terms of directions, if they do not understand policies and procedures or find it hard to understand what children, educators, families say. So this is a very important challenge to address, and it's important to be aware of because it does put some problems in a way of meaningful relationships. Also, educators find it difficult to provide guidance to children or interact with families the way they could otherwise if they didn't have this language barrier. But don't worry, there is a way to overcome this challenge. Number one, to be proactive. Work on your English and learn it as you go. So try to dedicate at least 3 hours per week to your study. It could be through podcasts, could be through videos or books. But the best way, of course, is to immerse yourself and interact more, but also catch up at home and learn these new phrases and read a little bit more to gain the confidence. Number two is work on your accent reduction. So this is the advice that I give to all my early childhood students who are from cultural and linguistically diverse background. When you come from different background, whether it's Chinese or Japanese or Russian, Polish, whatever, you may sound different to English speakers, and working on few vowels and consonants and just pronouncing the words correctly can reduce this barrier, the language barrier that you have. People might start understanding you better if you will just attend few sessions with speech pathologists. There are also online videos on how to do accent reduction, so you can watch them for free. Finally, be patient and learn from others. My advice is to listen to what children say, especially if they're 4-5 years old children and primary school age children. The way they speak is very clear quite often if they don't have any articulation problems or speech problems. And they do pronounce words the way that you should. And it's easier to learn from children because they are quite forgiving in terms of the way you speak. I remember one of my first funny stories. That child asked me if I'm an alien. What they meant was if I'm a foreigner, which was quite funny, and mostly because of my accent and the way I was speaking. Challenge number two, the necessity to study again. Oh no! I already finished university. I don't want to study again. But quite often, cultural and linguistically diverse educators or students who would like to become teachers and educators have to study again. This is a big burden, especially if you already have a family. So I started my second degree at Monash University when I was 28. And by this stage I finished university when I was 21, so it was quite a long time ago, and I really didn't look forward to study again. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to because there is no other way. There is a way to overcome this challenge though, and stay positive is number one advice that I can give you. Also use all your power to translate your qualification, the transcript, and maximize credit for your qualification. Usually it's done through Overseas Qualification Unit in Australia. It's probably a different process in other countries, but the most important thing is get credits for your previous qualification. Challenge number three, language test requirements. You wanted to start working with children, but here is a language test for you. when I had to move to Australia, I passed the exam, international exam that is called IELTS. When I decided to study again and get my bachelor in early childhood education and care, I was asked to sit the test again, but this time it was academic English. So of course it was extra money, extra time to study and extra effort. So that's a bit of a challenge for some early childhood educators who are from cultural and linguistically diverse background. So this is extra effort money, as I was saying. How to overcome this challenge? So you need to stay positive and be open-minded. First thing that your English will improve while you are preparing for this test. Then you will become an expert in IELTS, and eventually, like I did, you can get qualification in teaching English as a second language, or you can be an expert in passing tests or give advice to fellow educators. So this is a really good set of skills to have. You also will learn how to write better, because IELTS Academic requires you to write really profound, good essays, which will be helpful for your work in early childhood and for your study as an early childhood teacher. So definitely win-win. Challenge number 4, cultural differences. Different values, beliefs, practices and behavior about children, about early childhood education and care, about how to interact with families, how to spend time, how to relax on a weekend, what to eat, how to sleep, etc. All these things part of our culture, part of our upbringing and the way we are as adults. So usually when we start our career in early childhood education and care, if we are from culturally diverse background, we come with a baggage or funds of knowledge, you can call it this way. But the thing is, it might actually be a barrier in understanding people, especially in your center. For example, I used to work in a center that was very footy oriented, actually 2 of them, and I have no interest in footy. Yeah, well, that's what my life was before, and I didn't develop the interest in sports anyway, so I like snowboarding, but I don't like footy. Yet, I found, yeah, at first I found it very difficult to make sense of what was asked from me, what kind of activities I could plan for families and children who are really into footy. And the first question that really surprised me was, who do you barrack for? And I was like, I don't know. So I had to figure it out. So my son, as a primary school student, had to go through the same motion. So how to overcome challenge like this if you don't understand cultural differences? I'd say be open-minded, stay curious, learn as much as you can, again, from children, from families, from fellow educators. Try to participate, share fun. So if it's a footy game that children and parents play, you can also participate. If it's about wearing colors, you can pick a team and try to wear, or you can stay as an observer and just celebrate this wonderful community event that you are part of. It's part of cultural competence anyway, which is a requirement of our framework, the EYLF. Nation that culturally and linguistically diverse educators may face at times at work or during their study. Because you might feel like an odd bird, people might also look at you as a stranger. So remember this alien, yeah, that I was called an alien when I was doing my placement. It's a challenge, let's face it. So personally, I have never faced any discrimination, but I would say that I was judged based on my food. For example, I like to eat buckwheat, which is very traditional Russian food, and a lot of people ask me, what's that? And it was just curiosity, but you also feel like strange, right? So you might not accept the way people spend holidays, or you might make comments about some celebrations or some cultural habits, behavior. Again, it's very culturally ingrained. But culture is a complex thing, so every family has different set of rules and different culture, of course. Yet it is a challenge. So how to overcome this challenge? I'd say stay open-minded as well, be friendly, warm, curious, find your tribe. So it's very important. Sometimes you feel out of sorts and you don't feel that you belong. So our framework, EYLF, talks about sense of belonging. How to overcome this challenge? So this one is easy. You need to stay open-minded if you feel odd, yeah, like an odd bird. Be friendly. Talk about your culture when asked, or share it with positivity. So present it as something that is amazing and you feel like you want to share and spread the joy. Staying positive when you are feeling awkward is quite difficult. So sometimes you just may become an observer, but it's absolutely not suitable when you are discriminated upon. And if you feel that you are discriminated, of course, there are policies in your center where you can talk to the manager. If it's not working, leave this place and find your dream team, find your tribe where you will be appreciated and welcome and your culture will be celebrated. Okay? So these are main challenges that I faced as an early childhood educator from a diverse background. I also observed my students, my colleagues who come from culturally and linguistically diverse background. I would like to ask you a question. What are the challenges that you faced as an early childhood educator or student or family daycare educator? Please share in the comments below, or you can always message me on Facebook and we can have a chat. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.